All right, all right, all right. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Let's Chop It Up with Eric Davis. I am Eric Davis, so we want to welcome you on tonight. Just wanted to come on, man. We're gonna talk a little bit. Um, Not gonna be on very long, as you can see. We decked out and ready for the game tonight. So we're gonna just want to come on, man, and have a good conversation, get some understanding of why we are the way we are. Um, and the topic of tonight is why am I like this? All right. So why am I like this? When my producer hit me up and said, "What's the topic for tonight?" Before she even got finished, it came to me. Why am I like this? Um, we have to, go back and really look at uh, where we start from and how we got to where we are, who we are, how did we arrive to this place in our life. Why am I like this? I believe that situations and events define, shape us, mold us, fellas. So we got to look back and understand whether good or bad, those things mold us. All right. So why am I like this? Why do I have the quirks that I do? Why do I question a lot of things that I do? Why do I react to a lot of things that I do? Why do I feel like I am not enough at times? Why do I feel like um, I may be overlooked at times? Why do I feel like I may not be doing enough at times? So just why am I like this? Why am I wired like this? I think it goes back to what we talked about a few months ago in our in person of why is how we dealt with issues in our past, and those issues shaped us and molded us to the people that we have become, to the men that we have become, regardless whether we're good or bad. Good or bad, all right. We take the good as well as the bad, all right. And we'll grow from it. I said the last part that a lot of times we take the L's, and it's good that we take the L's because we learn from the L's, the losses, and we make ourselves better. We get better. As a young kid, I am the youngest of three. Before I have a sister by my dad, so it's actually three siblings, and I'm the youngest out of all of us. And so, uh, and like I said, I'm a mama's boy. I came up, um, and so that sense, um, I it kind of shaped me in a sense of always wanting to please. All right. Always wanting to please, wanting to make sure that everybody around me was good. Always wanting to make sure that everybody around me was in a good place, in a good mood, in a good atmosphere. But a lot of times in doing that, I put myself second. All right. I put myself second. I want to make sure everybody was good. Um, and so that shaped me. Um, uh, Kind of the person of who I am. I know I was taught as a young kid, treat people the way you want to be treated, and so I've lived by that. I've put that in, instill that into my kids, and I think that's something um, that has taken me well. All right, it's taken me and done well. I've done well by that. It's not about a lot of times what you have monetarily. It's a lot of times it's the people in your life, all right, that actually can show the wealth that you have. Because money will come and go, friends will come, but the people that are in your life that understand who you are, that know who you are, all right, can testify to the person that you have become, especially those that have known you, for a long time, 20, 30, 40 years. And you still have those relationships. And even the relationships that you uh, may have not been great at, you may have caused those relationships to falter, to hinder. All right. But it's only made you better. You think back on them. What did I do better? Sometimes you can't correct what you've done. Sometimes you can't go back and make things right, even though you want to, you try to. But it's as long as you reflect on them, you put those in God's hands and you move on. All right. And you be thankful for who you are. And you learn not to make those mistakes again. All right. Not to damage those relationships again. So why am I the way that I am? Simply because we go through so many things, man. We go through so many things. We deal with so many things. And I think we are the way we are is because we've had to learn from them. We've had to grow from them. We've had to endure hardships. We've had to endure pain, as well as joy, as well as love, as well as, being open-minded to certain situations. Um, and I think because we deal, man, in so many stages of our lives, all right, so many stages of our lives that we don't take time to appreciate some moments and see how we've grown from some moments or we didn't grow in some moments and how we can be better at it, all right, and how those moments have shaped us to be the persons they are. I speak for myself. um I've always been a relationship dude. I've never really been out. I've never really been single for a long period of time. My wife and I have been together for 31 years. In February, we'll be married 30 years. So, and in that, I'm, 53. So you figure that's half of my life. Over half of my life, I have been married. Hey, I'm good. I'm great. I'm thankful for it. All right. And it's just that that part of me, that's something I always saw myself in. All right. I saw myself in wanting that to have a family. And so that part is what I look to and strive for. But I had to have some growing pains. I had to do some learning, had to do some maturing, some understanding. All right. And I think that's a big part when you take on relationships, when you take on other people in your life, and you try to make sure that you are being the best person you can possibly be. All right. You have some pitfalls along the way, you have some roadblocks along the way, you have some stumbles along the way. Every relationship is not going to work out. All right. Every uh conversation may not be the best conversation, but you'll grow from it. All right. It's not going to be spring all the time. And I posted something one morning before I got out of here to go to work. um the season has changed. All right, it's September, fall is coming in, the temperature has gone down, the days are cooler, the nights are cooler, weather is great. All right, we've got to learn to change with the seasons. As the seasons change, we have to move from one season to another. All right, got to learn how to adjust, how to adapt, how to move. All right, and I think a lot of times we try to move in the season prior and take that same mentality into the next season. All right. But the season is changing. So we got to make sure, man, that we're able to adjust, adapt, and move. All right. Adjust, adapt, and move with where we are. And I think that plays a lot of why we are like the way we are. All right. Why am I like this? Um, it could be because of your past hurts as well as your past successes. All right. You don't want to just dwell on, negative things and how we had to deal with negative things. We've gone through negative things. It's just the fact of dealing the things that you've gone through, the situations you've been a part of. We all just have to, man, just grow from it. All right. Just grow from it. Just make sure that we are being the best versions of ourselves. And that's all we can do. That's all we can do. Make sure that we are staying true to who we are. That's something I was dealing with and thought about and thought about and thought about. And, it was really, I kind of had to not so much wrestle with it, but look at it and understand this is who I am. This is who God called me to be. All right. This is the person that I enjoy being. You know, uh, my family's good. My wife is great. You know, friends are good. Loved ones are good. And it's okay to enjoy being the person I am, flaws and all. And I'm like this because this is who I am. All right. Um, we got to that we make sure that we're our authentic self, if I can put it like that. All right. Make sure that you continue to be your authentic self. All right. We're not going to make every the best decision. We're not going to make every right decision. All right. But we're going to try our best to. All right. We're going to try our best to. We're not going to get everything. Um, in an instance. All right. For me, sometimes I overthink stuff. All right. Sometimes I have to sit back and I don't, sometimes I don't answer. If something's said to me and I don't answer, I have to sit back, think about what's said, and then respond. It'll come to me, all right? Or the thought will come to me, or something. I won't speak on it. I won't respond to it, all right? I'll think on it. Is it best for me to respond? Yes or no? Boom, and I move in that direction. So I think a lot of why we are the way we are, why I am the way I am, all right, is because I've had the support of people through the years. I've had the the great relationships that I have fostered through the years. I was speaking with someone the other day, and we were just talking, and he said, "Well, E, you get along with pretty much everybody." I said, "It's all about fostering relationships." All right. I said, "I've never been in need and not had help." Boom. All right. And that's not to say I've been a downer. I said, but I've shown myself friendly. All right. I've shown myself friendly. I've been a friend. I've treated people the way I wanted to be treated. So if there ever was an instance or issue that I needed assistance, I never have not gotten the assistance. All right. So, and I think that speaks to who we are as people, as men. I know a lot of times we try to take on everything ourselves. We try to do everything ourselves, but a lot of times it's just the fact of making sure that we are our authentic self and we treat people the way we want to be treated. And so, um, I just want to make sure that I'm being my authentic self. All right. I'm trying to find this video while I'm live. I'm trying to see myself. All right. So but I think it's imperative, man, that we just continue to be who we are. All right. Flaws and all, dude. Flaws and all. You'll grow. You ask God to help you move and motivate yourself and navigate through your different situations, your different stages of life. And I think that's pretty much all we can do, man. All we can do is encourage one another. All right, why am I like this? And talking to different people, talking to those that are in your circle that are trustworthy, that are safe spaces. All right, we're all about being in a safe space. And what you'll come to find out is we all have a similar story. All right. We all have a similar story. We've all gone through some of the same situations. And why I am the way that I am? You'll find out people have gone through things um, and have carried so much baggage from their past, and why they are the way they are, but don't really celebrate that you've gone through all that crap, that you've gone through all that hurt, that heartache, and even the successes, and you haven't taken time to celebrate who you are. All right. That's key. I think we should celebrate who we are. Listen, don't worry so much about, you know, what you're dealing with and what you have to deal with, but celebrate who you are and where you are right now at this point in this stage in your life. All right. So, because you got to take time because this life is short. I was just talking to a friend of mine at work and I said, man, 22 years, we've been working together for 22, 23 years. And I remember the first day. All right. And it's gone by. My kids were young. They're grown now. We've seen a lot of people come and go. We've dealt with tragedies amongst the group, and we've dealt with successes amongst the highs and lows, and we've supported one another. And it's just it says a lot to where we are in life, and a lot of times, why we are the way we are. Because a lot of it was poured into us and how we were raised and the people that shaped us and molded us for our family and friends and loved ones, and we glean from those people. All right, so we make sure that we look back and acknowledge, because if listen, you ought to be doing a self-examination. All right, at some point in time you ought to be examining yourself. Every once in a while you sit back and self-examine yourself. Things that you want to accomplish, things that you have accomplished, you haven't accomplished it. What did you fail at? What should I have been better at? Should I have been more motivated? Should I have been more diligent about this? Why didn't I do this? Why was I slowful in this? Why didn't I pursue this? Why wasn't I persistent in this avenue? So a lot of times we need to make sure that we are questioning ourselves And I think that will help us, all right, in understanding why we are the way we are. And it's not always because of past hurts. It's not always because we did wrong. It's not always that. All right, just because it's just the way we wired a lot. All right. You hear, when you're younger, you just like your daddy, you just like your mama. Well, that can be true because I got their DNA. All right. I've got their DNA. I look like them. All right. And so I'm gonna have the mannerisms. All right. I'm gonna speak. My mother, always my aunt used to tell me and joke with me that I speak like my dad. And if I don't really pronunciate, I'll start talking with a drag. And she used to make fun of me all the time, but because that's how my father talked. That's how he communicated. All right. And so I have that DNA in me. So a lot of times I have to speak up, speak clearly. All right. Because if I'm tired, it really comes out if I'm tired. I understand what I say, but they may not understand what I'm saying. All right. So that's just part of who I am and why I am like I am because it's inherited from my father. All right. Listen, we ain't got to be all deep and philosophical. All right. Why we are the way we are? Because a lot of times it's inherited from our parents. All right. And a lot of times it's the people that we surround ourselves with, how we're shaped and we're molded. Because you do understand when you're around the people that you're close with, all right, you all have similar things in common. You all act a certain way around each other, especially when you're talking about a bunch of dudes, all right. And when you close and you tight, all right, we're gonna know each other. We're gonna know your mannerisms. We're gonna know when something's going on. All right, we're gonna know when it's time to be quiet, when it's time not to be quiet, when it's time to push it, when it's time to question. All right. And that comes from fostering relationships. You gotta foster relationships, man. You gotta foster those relationships. All right. And it's okay to disagree. All right. But and agree that you disagree and you still love each other. Ain't no need falling out because you disagree, because you're different individuals. All right. I'm like this because I'm just like this. All right. We're gonna get together, we're gonna chop it up, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna pray, we're gonna love each other, all right, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, and we're gonna make sure that we all good. All right. We're gonna make sure that we're taking care of each other, all right, that we're keeping each other up, we're checking on each other. And I think a lot of that, all right, is key because we can get so caught up. I know myself, I was telling my engineer, I said, listen, I've been pulling 13-hour days all week. All right. And so my mind has just been on other things. And so I hadn't had a chance to recharge. We had a great weekend. We had friends over. We had a great weekend. We enjoyed ourselves. Um, and it was just a blessing to be able to do that and to be in that setting, something we haven't done in a long time. It's been years since we were able to do things like that. And we just thoroughly enjoyed it. Glad everybody enjoyed it. And so we just, um, it was who I am in a sense, making sure I enjoy them. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's why I am like him because my mother was like that. My father was like that. You know, bring people together, have them enjoy themselves. Your DNA is going to show up, all right, if you're true to who you are. Your DNA is going to show up. And that's just why you are the way you are, because it's in you. All right. Your DNA is going to show up and being your authentic self and being who you are, who you're called to be. All right. Don't get twisted up. Don't get caught up in trying to be like somebody else. I know, man. I know. We're living in this social media age and everything is AI and people look like they got it going on here and they got it going on there. They traveling here. Let's let's not get caught up in all that. All right. Let's not get caught up in all. Be secure in who you are. All right. Be secure in where you are at this stage in your life. All right. And understand you are the way you are because. All right. Now, you may not be in the best situation right now. And that's okay. Continue to strive, continue to do. All right. Continue to think positive, continue to speak positive. All right. Continue to trust who you are, trust God for everything that you need, and you'll be all right. All right. So we got to make sure, man, we understand why we are the way we are. Why am I like this? All right. A lot of for me, a lot of it because it's my DNA. Right? And who I'm made up this way. I'm wired this way. All right. I'm good. I'm easygoing. I love to laugh. I love to enjoy. All right. But don't take my kindness for weakness. I am the way that I am. Yes, I know. All right. It's a running joke. I'm mean. Not mean. This is we had at work. But I'm not mean. It's just don't take my kindness for weakness. All right. Um, but that's me. That's who I am. I am who I am because of my DNA and how I was made up, how I was raised. All right. How I was spoken to. I was never spoken to in a disrespectful manner by my parents. So I don't allow anybody to speak to me disrespectful. All right. If you really want to set me off, all right, that's how you set me off. All right. I am the way I am because I was shown love and respect when I was coming up. You're not going to talk out the side of your neck to me. You're not going to disrespect me while you're talking to me. So I made it a point not to disrespect people when I talk to them. I was shown love. I was shown uh, appreciation. And that's why I try to show love and appreciation. I am like this because that's the way I was reared. All right. And I think a lot of times we got to make sure that we understand that if we're not careful, we still will bring a lot of that baggage that we never got rid of. Everything is not always peaches and cream, man. So I'm going to help you with that right there. So we got to do a deep dive into why we um carry some of the sure we get rid of those things. We had a little difficulty. Sorry about that. We got to make sure that the baggage that we've carried up until now, that we learn how to get rid of it. The things that are not profitable for us, that are not going to help us be successful, we got to go through those things and purge that stuff out of us, man. We got to get those things. Sometimes you got to purge people out. All right. You got to purge certain people out of your life. Listen, a lot of times you got to um, make certain decisions that may not seem uh, the best thing to do at the time. But if you know it's in your heart to do, and it's in your spirit, and it's in your gut, and you understand, you feel it, and you know it, make the decision and do it. All right. Then you have to go through the process of trusting the decision that you made. All right. And once you get to that point, you will be fine. I just thought about 10 years ago when we made the move to come this way. I had to trust the decision that I made, understood, I was led, that God spoke to me about it. I had to trust that decision, and He never let us falter. He never let us waver. We never went without. All right. And so that had to be a process for me. All right. And it was it was a lot of it was a lot of questioning. It was a lot of why do you got me out here? Away from my family, with my family, away from my family, and so, but I had to trust the process and understand this is why I am the way I am, because I trust and believe what God is doing in our lives. And so I just wanted to come on tonight, man, and talk. Not going to be on long. I know you cats preparing for the game tonight. The season is on. We're going to be back again next week, man. We're going to chop it up. I just want to come on tonight. Why am I like this? You are like this because it's your DNA, is how you're wired. All right. You've got situations, you've got quirks, and you've got faults, and you've you got everything that your parents had given to you. All right, because you came up in that environment, and if it wasn't for your parents, the environment that you grew in and came up in is why you are like the way you are. All right, and that's what you need to make sure you understand. So a lot that could be all right. You coming up a certain way, and you need to fall back and step back and get some stuff squared away and get some stuff out of you. All right. So it don't want to make things like it's all good. So it could, if your disposition ain't right, your attitude ain't right. It could be the environment that you grew in or the environment that you are around that is filtered into you. All right. You need to get those things out. You need to step back. And like I said, step back, do an inventory, do a self-examination. All right. Get some stuff squared away. Get some stuff out of you that has been put in you that is not beneficial for you. We talking real good tonight, man. We're gonna chop it real good tonight. All right. So we need to make sure that anything that's in us and not beneficial for us, that we get it out of us, because sooner or later it's gonna cause us harm and damage. So we need to make sure, right? I'm gonna say this slow. Make sure that you get everything out of you that is not beneficial for you. All right. We want you to be better, man. We want you to be better. We want you to be great. All right. We want you to be the best version of yourself. Be the best person that you have been called to be. All right. Understand and listen. Be proud of who you are, man. Be proud of who you are. You got enough going on in the world that can cause you to falter and be down on yourself, but be proud of the person you are. And like I said, if you got something in you that you need to get out of you, work on getting that thing out of you. Work on getting that right. All right. Because the only person that really can change you is you. All right. Make sure that you are understanding who you are. And I'll say this, fellas, don't take on so much weight that you cannot um, grow. Don't take on so much that you cannot grow from where you are. We all should be able to grow. No matter the stage in our life, we should be able to grow from where we are. All right. Do things that are beneficial for you, whether they feel good or not. Do them. If they're beneficial for you, go ahead and take care of them. All right. Take care of them. Be the best version of you that you can possibly be. All right. That's what I want you to strive to, being the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. I'm trying to grow every day, every hour, every week. Um, try to be. I've got some things I got to work on, and it gets a little different the older you get. All right, a little harder it gets every time. So we want to make sure that we are uh, being um, relevant, like I always say, being relevant, being excuse me, understanding that our lives matter. We make a difference in somebody else's life. Just we don't even know. Some people are watching us all the time. A lot of times I'll see people, they'll speak to me. I don't remember names all that great, but people will speak and I make sure I speak. I make sure I'm courteous, because you never know when you're going to be in a conversation and people are going to need you. All right. So you make sure that you are maintaining your self-respect, maintaining your dignity. Understand, man, there's only one you, and enjoy being the person you are. Understand you wired the way you are because of your DNA. I can't put it no simpler than that. All right. We're going to make sure that we are being absolutely necessary in this thing. All right. You are great. You are positive. You are well rounded. You are a king's kid. You are the best version of you because there's only one you. And if you're not satisfied with that version, you need to do some work, bruh. All right. Do some work, man. Let's get at it. All right. Let's get at it. Let's do some work. Let's break up some foul ground. Let's get in. Let's do some work. Let's get an understanding of why we are the way we are. Why am I like this? All right. Like I said, it can't, and it's all not going to be positive. Why am I like this? Why do I keep making the decisions that I'm making? Why do I keep hindering myself? Why have I not been more assertive to be better at what I need to be better at? All right. So a lot of times we got to understand it. And a lot of times, man, if you have not been um, as assertive as you need to be, and you try to make a move to do something else, all right, whether it be your job, a promotion, that could hinder you. Somebody's watching you at all times. Don't forget somebody's watching you. But you know who you are and you know the value that you have. And so don't let anybody dictate to you the value, your value. Don't let anybody label or put a price on who you are. Don't let anybody lower your self-esteem or your worth. All right. You know your worth. So walk in that. Walk in that. Understand who you are. Understand why you are the way you are. Be confident in who you are. All right. Be confident in who you are and the success that you are. All right. I know you're looking at, well, I may not know. Be confident in the success that you are. All right. You are a game changer. You are a game changer, and don't let anybody tell you different. You're a game changer. All right. So just wanted to come on tonight, man, real quick. I know, Cass, you're getting ready for the game. You're getting everything together, but wanted to come on and be ready. Listen, we're going to be back on the 18th. The 18th, we're going to be back in the place. We're going to be live again, chopping it up. All right. Real men, real conversations, real results, and we getting them. Don't forget, we will be going live on next Thursday, the 18th. We'll be live again, same time, same channel. You see, we up in the cave. We're getting ready for the night. I want you to have an outstanding night. We're going to chop it up soon. Be great on tonight. Have a great night. Be great on this weekend. Enjoy your weekend, all right? The weekend is here. We got one more day. Friday is tomorrow. We're going to enjoy the weekend. We're going to be back at it again next week. Got to get that work weekend, all right? Enjoy yourself, man. I appreciate your real men, real conversations. We getting real results. We'll chop it up with you soon. We out. Peace.